Welcome to Low Ink Day 2. This is our first Day 2, which is super exciting. We have 100 plus teams. You probably heard. It's been all over Twitter. My name is JPEG. I am your host, commentator, and I'm joined once again by Top Gun. How are you doing, Top Gun?
I'm doing fantastic.
Alright guys, we're just about to start brackets.
Cracking.
And we're getting feed from a source here. I believe we're just about to start brackets. JPEG, can you confirm that?
Yeah, Kraken, can you confirm that?
Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't know you were live. Love y'all! Bye stream!
A little behind the scenes look there at our deep sources. Hey JPEG, I got some numbers for you.
Let's hear the numbers.
Of the 16 teams in Top Cut today, 5 have low ink Top Cut experience, with 11 making their first appearance in a low ink Top Cut. The 5 experienced teams are Leggett, making their second appearance, Trick or Treat, West Broadway Grillers, Persistence, all making their third appearance, and Revitalize being the old man team in this group with their 5th appearance. Now, of the past 15 low ink champions, 9 have won it in their first and only Top Cut experience. So JPEG, if you're one of these teams, one of these 11 teams who are making their first appearance, you gotta be feeling pretty good that the odds are in your favor that you're gonna win this whole thing.
Absolutely. I think it's worth mentioning, because of the large amount of teams, we're going to have multiple brackets running. However, the stream will only be watching the alpha bracket. This is the top 16 players out of 100 teams. Well, not players, teams. Excuse me. You'll have to be very skilled at this game to get up here, so you're watching the best of the best.
And if several teams do drop out and Kitsa Clan gets bumped up in the Top Cut, we will make sure to put them on stream. So yeah, what are the brackets are up? Let's go take a look at that and see who specifically is playing who in this first round.
We are watching the seed number 8, seed number 9 teams, Pure Divinity versus Trick or Treat, plus a new fresh dude called Kyo. Good team name. And they will be joining our room shortly. After that, we'll be streaming the winners bracket for alpha bracket, which is the top bracket. You can find that on our battle site if you want to look at it. I believe we do have a bracket command which should be up to date on that. If not, we will fix that shortly. Otherwise, now we are just playing the waiting game, getting players in here. Teams, the tournament just started, so everyone just got notified that they're okay to start joining the rooms.
Alpha brackets. Yeah, so there are 3 brackets this time around. Before it was just the top 16 teams, but now teams, I guess 1 through 48, made it into a bracket of sorts. So like we're going to be showing alpha bracket, as you said, but there's also a beta and gamma. So there's going to be a lot of action going on today. And you said we're doing number 8. Oh, Pure Divinity and Trick or Treat. Pure Divinity is one of those teams that is making their first appearance at Top Cut here. Trick or Treat is with their third appearance. These guys have actually made it all the way to grand finals in low ink before. They lost to some team called Destiny Troops. Who? But I don't know.
Yeah, irrelevant.
But they are an experienced team, and they've gone deep in Top Cut before. So now that there's a double limb and you can get a second stock if you lose your first one, we'll see if Trick or Treat can kind of get some redemption here.
Absolutely, it's always exciting to see team come back to Top Cut. However, I will say the competition's fierce this round, this time around at least. Lots of good teams making that alpha bracket, taking 10% of the total teams playing in low ink. Yeah, you're gonna have to really play your best.
Let's see here. Some of the other teams playing in this first round that we will not be showing you. Steve War is taking on Respawn Spirits. Steve War being number 1, Respawn being number 16. Number 4, Takedowns, taking on number 13, Elements. Oh, what is that? Tuzaki? How do you say that?
Great question.
Element T.
That one.
The number 5 West Broadway Grillers are going to take on number 12 Legettes. The number 2 Fresh Constellas, I'm sure I pronounced that incorrectly, is taking on number 15 Revitalize. Number 7 the Bunnies, taking on number 10 the Blitzing Duckies. So the Bunnies and the Ducks are going to be playing each other. Number 3, Persistence, taking on number 14, Triton Splatoon. And number 6, Blue Ringed Kraken, taking on number 11, Ouch Only. And both of these teams all the matchups in this first round are against teams that were in the opposite Swiss group. So for yesterday's Swiss stage, teams were split into 2 different Swiss groups. So everybody that was in Group A is now playing everyone who's in Group B in this first round. So these teams won't be familiar with each other, or they wouldn't have played each other in Swiss, at least in this opening round.
We are waiting for the rest of the players to join the room, and we will get on with our first match of Alpha Bracket today. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is a best of 5. Should be. And then
yes.
These rounds are best of 3.
You are correct. Best of 5, and I believe get up the map list here for this. Oh, there it is. You can just look on stream and see the map list. How convenient is that? Shout out to Farer for being an awesome streamer / producer for this whole thing. But also, if there's any issues with the stream, make sure you blame him and not us. So teams are ready. They're in the lobby. We're going to go ahead and get started with Clam Blitz at Wahoo World. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of anything at Wahoo World that's not Splat Zones, just because that bridge that opens up at the Plat only comes up at certain times. And making pushes with Clam Blitz here, a lot of times kind of depends on if that bridge is up or not.
Absolutely. I don't think it's the worst Clam Blitz mode, but it can definitely be tough to defend and attack at the same time. Just because it's so straightforward to get to the basket. So both teams are going to have to really get their attention, be on really good attention to be able to watch out for those things and be in communication.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can score on this map. Underneath the carousel over the bridge, or even if you do a deep flank over the elbow on the left side of the map there. But we're going to go ahead and get started and see what kind of funky comps we're kind of used to seeing at Low Ink. We'll see what gets brought out here. Looks like a Octobrush and Sea-Jet on the side of Pure Divinity, with Trick or Treat bringing out a Nautilus with Baller. Nautilus being a popular weapon to use, definitely more recently than in the past, but that Baller weapon's going to come out really handy here in Clam Blitz.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on this map. Baller can be incredibly strong just because it's such a straight shot to the basket. Seeing some other more common weapons from Pure Divinity, like a Junior, K-Shot. Both those are perfectly fine weapons. course, armor is almost always a requirement these days.
So things pretty neutral in the opening minute here. Both teams doing a good job of controlling the clan economy. The Stingray coming out from the Charger, and not the C-Jet on the other side, able to get a couple of picks. So map control looks like it's going to be in the favor of Trick or Treat here in the early going, with this Inkjet going off in the enemy base. And they are able. I was about to say, do they have a power clam? And they did. And now they got a lot of clams they can use to follow up that clam. Nice pick there by Sayo.
Trick or Treat making good use of their specials, getting the map control, and now they have. Well, they had a lot of control. At least getting that trait before they get wiped. But that will put them in a nice, comfortable lead for the beginning half of the match.
It was interesting. They had a lot. Trick or Treat had a lot of clams there, but only were able to get 6 more points after initially popping the basket. So a good defense by Pure Divinity, and what could have been a whole lot worse of a push on their part.
Yeah, absolutely. Pure Divinity having 2 specials ready. Looks like they're about to initiate a push of themselves with the 2 power clams ready. Now they just have to get into the enemy base.
You see Mary here doing a lot of great work. A former player for Technical Machine, which has since disbanded. And now on this Pure Divinity team, getting a lot of good kills with that K-Shot. However, a wipe going down on the side of Pure Divinity as Trick or Treat looks to get a second push going here with the T-Tech poke, getting into position, and a lot of power clams, as well as some follow-up clams ready to go for Trick or Treat.
Yeah, Trick or Treat definitely did a little bit of a turnaround there. Pure Divinity not too long ago was ready for a push, but now Trick or Treat's already at Pure Divinity's basket, ready to score.
Nice pick there from the Inkjet of poke, as they do pop the basket, getting some pretty serious points on the board there. You see Sayo looking to get some more power clamps so they can keep this push going. 2 players going down for the side of Trick or Treat, so it looks like this will be the end. Pure Divinity able to get it out. Sayo being the last player alive, sharking here. And JPEG, I don't think Pure Divinity is aware that another flank is going to be going on with that jump there.
Absolutely, yeah. Clan Blitz can be extremely dangerous with the flanks if you aren't watching every corner of the map. However, they seem to have seen it, and that's gonna at least slow down Pure Divinity, preventing them from totally getting into mid. At least for the time being.
It looked like Pure Divinity was able to kind of sniff that out there, but it did cost a lot of attention. And they almost got pincered there with Sayo staying on the plat, but now with about 1:23 left to go, Pure Divinity trying to create a space to make something happen. You see the hammer getting canceled there again by the K Pro, who's looking to put pressure back on Pure Divinity's side of the map.
I think Pure Divinity sees 1 minute left on the clock. They have to make a push, but they're getting a little too desperate for it. Trick or Treat kind of waiting for Pure Divinity to come to them, giving them an easier time with picks. However, there is a brush flanking if Trick or Treat will see it.
You see the Inkjet going off here, getting another nice pick. The hammer getting canceled. They do score, but with only 7 clams to follow up, and one of them being a C-Jet. So that's basically the end of the push there, with the last player alive being deep in their own base. So with 30 seconds left to go here, Trick or Treat with 29 clams. They're threatening to KO them, actually. This might not even go the full 5 minutes if they can find a way to survive these jumps.
Yeah, watching Poke here. Lots of technical player skill from each individual player in Trick or Treat. But it seems all the players are just good at taking 1v1s. That seems to be their big advantage here.
Now as we head into overtime, you see the bridge starting to collapse on the platform. So Pure Divinity won't have the bridge to work with, so the ways they can go to score are all kind of very obvious now. It has to be through the carousel there. As you see, they're trying to force something. If they can't score here, it gets denied, but even if they had made that throw, it would have been too short of a time. So game 1 going to Trick or Treat. The experienced team flexing their experience in that first game.
Yeah, absolutely. Trick or Treat starting off really strong. Watching a lot of really skilled players here, making some good plays. Hopefully, Pure Divinity. Maybe Clan Blitz just wasn't their mode. We can see them definitely. They have the potential to win some other modes. So, if we look at the next map, which is Manta Zones, which is one of my favorites. I do like this map mode. It's very interesting. It's not generic, but it's still fun to play on.
This is one of the worst maps to spectate from overhead.
That's true, actually. But you know what? I take it back. This map stinks.
There's just so many different walls. That mask, the middle, does a good job of separating both zones. It's definitely a unique Splat Zones map compared to the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's also an easy map to get locked out on, so it'll be very important for both teams to make sure that they don't get a full team wipe, or else it could end up costing them the game regardless of what the current score is. With Pure Divinity, we'll see if they bring out an ink brush again, or an octo brush. They used the brush, but I'm not sure if it was just for the Clan Blitz mode, or if they plan on using that for other modes as well.
Yeah, and I think what the comps they had earlier were pretty good for most map modes, especially on zones. So I don't expect to see a full change, and they're already readied up, so I don't expect to see too much of a change.
So here we go, game 2. Trick or Treat currently up 1-0 in this best of 5. As we see pretty much the same comp, except for a ballpoint coming out instead of a charger for the side of Trick or Treat. And yeah, the same exact comp coming out for Pure Divinity. I love the ballpoint pick. I think when the first patch came out that nerfed it, people kind of shied away from it, but it's still, with beacons and rain, it's still a really good weapon to use on this map and mode.
Especially with the Greats. Greats are like any Splatlink's best friend. If that ballpoint can just stay up there and harass Pure Divinity, and it seems like it's working right now, then that's going to give them total map control.
Mary getting a nice suction bomb kill there. This Inkjet's gonna have to get a kill if it wants to stay alive, and it will not, as Mary takes it out as well. So, but neither team able to get control of zone, but it should go to Trick or Treat now that they got 3 kills of Pure Divinity, and they will to get this opening control of the zone. As you see Sayo starting to work their way into the enemy street, a key area you need to control if you want to create a lockout.
Pure Divinity armoring up, going all in on right. It seems to be working. Getting that, I think that was the pro out. Kind of overextending. They don't have the zone quite yet, but that's going to ensure that they can easily get it.
Yeah, you saw the T-Tech, or the K-Shot there, getting a little separated from the rest of the pack as Mary and co sniff them out. However, Melvin, with the Inkjet Nautilus this time around, as opposed to the Baller one, popping Inkjet and getting a lot of height on it coming from the bunker there, able to get an assist or two, and barely survives the landing as well. And here we go. There's the full wipe that Pure Divinity needed to avoid. And you see Trick or Treat is looking for some candy in the enemy team street.
Yeah, going in on the spawn, that might be a little risky, but you know, whatever slows them down, and they're losing zone control, so that's what I mean by risky, but they get it back quickly.
Yeah, they're locking down this left mass area over here. Pure Divinity starting to flush some players out, but now, as you see Pez Pop getting drowned in purple ink there, they're well aware of where this brush is. And that's never really a good thing when your brush always survives that bomb. I thought that bomb was going to get him, but they must have gobbled it up with the hammer. However, Trick or Treat, with all 4 players alive and in the middle of zone, threatening to get this KO here as we approach about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. With Mary going down and one more side of Pure Divinity, this should pretty much do it.
Yeah. Trick or Treat doing a good job locking them out that game. And that's what just led them to the victory. Zones can really get out of control pretty quickly if you don't take care of those penalties. Or like at least add penalties to the other team. Retreat going 2-0. Not done yet, but they are 2-0 against Pure Divinity. One more game, and they will win if they win that game in this best 5.
I thought it was interesting. They Pure Divinity kept the same comp pretty much, including the custom jet. I guess Stingray kind of works out on that map because of how long it is, but since the patch came out where Stingrays are not as powerful going through walls, and you're pretty much going to be firing through a wall on that map at all times, kind of an interesting pick. But now that we move to Port Mackerel Tower Control, I would assume the C-Jet would automatically ready up, because that is such a no-brain weapon for this map.
No-brain weapon for a no-brain map.
But Pure Divinity with their backs already against the wall, they lose. They are not done, but they're going to have to go to the losers bracket, and then their backs will be against the wall for the remainder of the tournament. Whereas Trick or Treat wouldn't mind getting this win right now so they can go on and advance.
Both teams almost ready, just waiting on 2 more players. And we can start game 3, which could be the last game unless Pure Divinity secures the win.
Yeah, Pure Divinity readied up really quickly. I guess they want to use their same comp yet again. It's obviously what they like to do, and it works out for them. So we'll see how it works out with tower control here. We see pretty much the same comp. Wait, no, actually Trick or Treat's the one pulling out the C-Jet now, and Pure Divinity dropping the C-Jet for the Vanilla Charger.
Yeah, Ray
and a double armor.
I think that Ray for Pure Divinity could come in handy if they can use it at opportune times, especially on this map.
Ooh, accidentally popping. They do have this double armor comp, but they accidentally pop it at the same time there. Probably a little bit of nerves being down 0-2 with your backs against the wall for this decisive game 3 for them, but a good opening push regardless.
Yeah, tournament nerves are always an underrated point. Like, these players, I mean, Top Cut's always a little intimidating, so... but Pure Divinity almost clearing this checkpoint. This checkpoint's really important. No, not quite. But that checkpoint's incredibly important on this map. It's pretty hard to pass, in my opinion.
They're not quite done with this push. It looked like they were, but they still have more players alive, even though we see the Nautilus doing some work on that tower. So Pure Divinity going to keep the tower, and a nice pick by the Charger there. Pure Divinity's going to keep the tower on the Trick or Treat side of the map, and with armor being popped here, like you said, this checkpoint is so critical to get past because it's very difficult to do so. But Trick or Treat with more players alive are and a nice double there.
I see the Ray come out too, and Ray's really strong in this map. I don't think we're going to see it. That sniper did back out, but didn't pop it in time.
Yeah, looking to save that Ray for defensive purposes. I mean, you see them trying to take out the Ray before they can even get it off, and they do. So that's going to be big for Trick or Treat as they approach their first... Oh, no, wait, no, they already cleared the first checkpoint. They're looking to take the lead right here.
Yeah, within a couple seconds, Trick or Treat just gets all map control, and now they're going to pass this checkpoint. At this rate, at least.
Yes.
Watching it.
The script getting completely flipped by Trick or Treat there. Now, with the K-Pro, the last one alive, the tower will get pushed back to mid, but the checkpoint did get cleared by Trick or Treat, and that is huge for them. As we see a Stingray coming from the tower, it's going to need to get a couple of picks if they're going to be able to find a way to get past this second checkpoint. And they don't see the flank coming out there by the C-Jet. Gets the pick on the tower.
The Pure Divinity earlier in the round definitely showed potential for this map mode, so hopefully they can make a turnaround in the next 2 minutes. But it looks like Trick or Treat, yeah, getting some good picks off, and they are going to continue pushing.
Yeah, they just lose their K-Pro player. As you see, Melvin trying to get a pick there on Mary is able to do so, popping Inkjet, but in a bit of an awkward spot. I don't know if they're going to be able to find someone. They do find the K-Shot and do get an assist, so with 2 players down, and now Melvin riding the tower along with Boo. We'll see if Pure... Oh, wait, no, this is Trick or Treat.
Yes.
That's making this push here.
One down each side. 2 minutes left. Oh, good flank by Mary. But not quite going anywhere. But it might slow down Trick or Treat. Getting a little distracted by it.
This is about a minute 30 left to go now. Trick or Treat with a checkpoint lead and the tower being pushed on Pure Divinity's side of map, as you see Melvin looking to get in control there. We talked about Stingray being very important on this map and mode and very useful. We've only seen a couple of Stingrays come out for the side of Pure Divinity, and the one time that Stingray was used in a critical situation, we saw it immediately get canceled, so that might be the difference going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Pure Divinity having an opportunity to push with the Stingray ready and missiles and armor. This is going to be a strong combo if they can pull it off.
They can. Pure Divinity does have Stingray ready. However, the Stingray user is currently riding the tower and does get taken out before they can get in position to fire that thing. Can they get past this checkpoint? They got to dodge the shots from this C-Jet, and they're doing a somewhat good job. However, bombs coming in at the right time. Mary's in a 1-3-3 situation. That's not going to end well. And with about 20 seconds left to go, Pure Divinity needs to start picking off players and get on tower if they want to force overtime.
With 10 seconds left. This is a pretty close game regardless. I think Pure Divinity could take the win. Maybe not with 3 down though.
If Mary can survive and does not. So Trick or Treat, making their 3rd appearance in Top Cut, has already won a silver medal in this tournament in the past, using their experience to get a quick 3-0 victory over Pure Divinity and advance to the 2nd round of winners bracket, whereas Pure Divinity will head on down to the losers brackets.
Not to discredit Pure Divinity, that was an incredibly close game, and the last 2 games were fairly close, at least in some aspects. So I do expect them to play well in losers. Hopefully we can see them again, or hopefully they get pretty far, and I wish them the best of luck. Okay, with that 3-0, we might be a little while until next round. So with that, we're going to take a short break while we set up round 2. Let's do that.